So, hello guys, and welcome to this new video. Today I'm going to present you this contraption over here, or rather machine I would say, considering its size. A fairly large stretch project. I worked on it for, I think 4 days or something. Was my main project for a bit. But before I delve into it, let's give some credit where credit is due. This thing was suggested, well, basically Egg and Charcoal requested a machine where they could store a bunch of blocks in a cube and then extract those blocks one by one on request, as far as I understand it. They wanted to do it with TNT for some kind of farm they are building. I'm not sure I should talk about that, so I won't. But yeah, they're doing some cool survival stuff, and they asked me if I could do this, and I basically said yes, and I gave it a try, and it turned out to be doable. It took some time though to get everything fine-tuned and bug-free, so I will talk a bit about that today as well. First, however, let's get into this machine and how to use it. Right here would be the control room, you could say. Or in fact, we've got a block right here. Interesting. Let's just ignore that haven't happened. Yeah, happens sometimes if you're using these command blocks. However, for the most part, you don't really have problems with them. Which means I have to move this one. Actually, no, this one's fine. Let's keep it in there. So basically normally I would stand here, and I'm going to lower sound just to be sure. So yeah, like the piston right over there is a butt. It's butted and it is used to power the piston on the left and that kind of stuff. And as you can tell, every time I push 12 blocks in, the pistons on the right will extend and for create a new line basically. And if you do that 12 times, you will layer, and here at the top again, that will make everything extend, and so on. First of all, so this is basically input mode. I will just quickly show you how this works with a, well, basically this is the same as a player. And we just replace any air in that spot by stained glass every 0.6 seconds, which is roughly the same speed it seems. But now we don't have to stand there, we can actually see what goes on. So as you can tell, every time the butt triggers, it allows one item hopper to pass to the other hopper. Basically, we have a hopper clock right here. Every time it switches, in other hours, every time 64 times 2 plus 16, in other words 144, in other words one plane of 12 by 12 has passed through. It continues. And basically here we have 12 for the 12 different planes. And basically, this thing keeps track of the amount of blocks inputted into the system. And yeah, basically once 12 have moved over here, then stuff will start happening, and we will move to extraction mode. Now, I will definitely speed this up and talk a bit about technicalities probably. So yeah, tick speed mod was very useful during the development of this thing. So yeah, right now, as you can tell, send one layer was pushed in. You know what, I'll wait until the next layer. But some general thing I can say about this machine, that you may want to customize some parts of it for your own purposes. Like, for example, right here you've got the control circuit for the extraction input. If your machine is being controlled by another machine, and you can assure that there won't be any inputs within 3 seconds of each other or something, you should be fine. Most of the blocks can be extracted 1.5 seconds after another. Some take a bit longer because it has to take in the line, and that can take less than 3 seconds. I think it's like 2.5 or something. I never really measured. Next layer, I'm going to show you what it looks like on the other side, by the way. As you can see, there's a bit of sand moving and lagging the game out for a bit. Oh man, yeah. Man alive. Let's go to lower than this. What was I doing? Yeah, freaking 32. I know what I was doing. Well, it's still kind of low, but I wonder what's happening actually. I guess it's because of tick speed, yeah. That's the only explanation I can give. Oh well. Oh, I forgot again, dang it. Okay, next plane I'll think about it, sorry. And let's go back. So now we will see that it will basically push this entire thing down, and then stuff will start happening. So yeah, sand falls down. At the bottom here is detection, and which basically pushes over here. I should probably show this side. Every time sand gets pushed, this torch turns on briefly, so it gets triggered. Same story over here, over up here as well, and then the end it goes over here and then back onto this pillar. Until we've got a nice solid block up here, basically. With like a wedged side, or whatever you want to call it, a tilted side. I must say this design was inspired by Redstone Jazz. He made a non-tileable design for this purpose. I of course had to make it tileable for my, or stackable rather, for my purposes. However, the main piston configuration was inspired by his design, which I will link down in the description. It's pretty old. What else can I talk about? So input control was quite a mess to get on, and you don't really need it if you're doing it automatically, but just to be sure, I made it such a way that you can constantly have this input on, or you can mess with it or whatever, and it should be fine. So I think that's pretty cool. I do sometimes have a bit of issues with the counting though, I'm not entirely sure about it. It just takes a very long time to test this whole thing, so that's why I rather don't, and I'm just gonna release this the way it is. Or maybe, technically, I don't know. I found an issue and fixed it by the time I upload this video, but that's about it. So yeah, I'm just going to assume that stuff is working because it seems to be working kind of. Seems kind of precise. Like let's for example take the moment this layer fills up, it should be basically exact. Well, yeah, that's a bit too late now, but as you can tell, it's like 6 in, and yeah, there were roughly 6 blocks in here when that happened. So I think that's pretty accurate. Yeah, if you haven't problems with that, maybe you have to debug some wiring for yourself. I don't know. I just included the schematic of this thing in the description. Also, as I said, it was made for TNT originally. Now there's one thing I have to change here, which I did with the acrylic earlier on today, because when I showed it on the server, which is this right here, which I will, of course, will be changed in the schematic itself. I just thought of it. And ignoring that, it looked like we didn't test with TNT, we did test with traditional lamps, and it looked like there was nothing being powered. So normally you should be alright with TNT, although of course I do advise you test it for yourself in your creative world before you start building it and blow yourself to smithereens. Some interesting stuff is mostly in the extraction mode. Like here, you have a cube filled with sand, gets pushed out. The technology is mainly these sand conveyors, which are designed inspired by Redstone Jazz's thing. Basically, the main point of the sand is being that I am able to push in a wall of 12 blocks high and 12 blocks wide of sand with one simple signal over here. And everything else falls into place again so that it's ready for the next push, basically. And that's the way it currently works. Like, once you've got the system filled up, it will basically, every time you push all these pistons, it will push out one sand on each layer, creating a 12 high wall. Oh, so here it goes again. However, what it will also do is remove one sand on each column, which will cause basically an entire layer to fall down. So it's all very smooth and it looks kind of cool. And it's a lot better than my initial concept, which was basically to just have a wall over here which stacks 144 blocks high or something with all of the sand. And it would be a lot, well, I would say less interesting and also just a lot bigger, which would be annoying because you would have to build all of these sand conveyors to get up there and that kind of stuff. So I'm very happy I didn't go with that option. So yeah, the thing's still going. I think I'll speed up a bit more. I don't have anything else to talk about. Yeah, I mean, the main butts, I couldn't use, well, I couldn't, actually, the butts, I had to use one slime block, it seemed, or if I didn't use a slime block, I had to use some kind of other butt, which I didn't really like much, so I went with a slime block over here. Unfortunately, I couldn't exclude any slime blocks from this build. So yeah, basically, butts get triggered, that goes up, same thing up here, of course. Great thing is it also works for the sand. Basically, you push 12 sand down. When the sand is going to get pushed down, these pistons at the bottom will be extended, so they will actually fall down properly in front of the pistons. The second the last layer falls down, but triggers, everything gets pushed again. It's all fine, basically. So I think that's pretty cool. Now I think that's the main stuff out of the way, except for the extraction system, which I personally find a lot more interesting because, of course, everyone knows how to push stuff into a cube. The question is how to get it out again, or rather how to get every block out. Get some stuff out on the side, but that's kind of it. So, yeah, that's what the system is about, and I think it's almost time to show it in action. In fact, we need to push one more layer. So, let's count down, people. And one more line. It's almost done. We're counting up the last ones. Oh yeah, I forgot. Sorry. No, you don't just need to push the sand out. You need to get to 12 lines. It actually also needs to go over here to this point. So one more layer. Sorry, people. I'm a bit of an idiot. Let's speed this up. I thought I would make this video short. I'm trying to pay attention to just saying the important stuff, but I'm not doing very good at it, am I? Okay, so it's almost done, and now I should switch to extraction mode. So yeah, basically it's done. The input slot automatically gets jammed, so you can't enter anything. The command also can't because it's doing a fill replace. And basically the mode changed to extraction. As you can see, the lamp is on right now, which activates this piston, which basically means I can now use this input right here to extract a block every time. Now you're not going to notice much because right here I have the output connected up to this thing, which basically just moves the block constantly. Because else I would have to move that manually, which would be hell. Yeah, kind of hell. So let's quickly show how that works, or what it looks like rather. So as you can tell, we got one output block. Now some more interesting stuff happened over here. So I'll just put this on this maximum speed and explain to it. Or you know what? I'll do some simple triggers like that. As you can tell, the single block extraction is just a matter of a sand counter. Basically, we have a piston over here and a piston under there, which you can't see. And yeah, we just push up quickly, push not new sand block under, done. Now the thing is, there's also a butt under this pillar, which is really interesting because I'm going to show it right here. Basically, the butt gets triggered whenever something happens on top of it. So first of all, this is moving the sand next to the block next to it, and then next sand will fall down, and then it will get triggered again. So basically, every cycle it gets triggered twice. So it triggers this flip-flop over here twice, basically. So it will first sand block will go here, and then it will go back. Now, if that doesn't happen within a certain time span, this will basically go off, which will turn this whole thing off, and then cool stuff starts happening, basically. So let's show that in action. So right now it's going at maximum speed, which is one block every 1.5 seconds, as far as I'm aware. Not the greatest speed, but Egg and Charcoal only needed like 1 TNT every minute, so they were fine with it. As you can see right here, basically what this section does is just quickly grab a layer from here, push it there. This was necessary because this thing is already 12 blocks long, and as you can see, the way we're pushing it from the other side is using piston worms. However, piston worms can only push 11 blocks because they also need to push one single piston. And therefore, I need to actually make sure this spot is free before I try to push. Yeah, as you can tell, it did it again. It's not easy though, because on one hand, I have these systems. You probably know how piston worms are usually controlled using these like resin blocks or that kind of stuff being pushed, because they get just the right timing, coincidentally. But yeah. So basically, by pushing it back and forth, you get just the right timing to trigger that, to make it move one block forward. Also, when it gets to the end, it automatically goes back, and over here, almost automatically goes back again. It all works out fine. One of the special things is that I have a counter over here, which I'm not going to get into all the details, but basically the counter makes sure that once it gets over here, it goes all the way back over here, and then back to the starting position over here. Now, something I noticed, I thought about after I had put that prototype, was like, wait, this is going to be right next to the TNT. I thought about a lot of alternatives, but I thought the best option would be to fix the current system by messing with signal strength. So that's why we have this comparator right here and this cell right here. This stores a signal strength. Every time the signal comes in through here, this is briefly powered, this is briefly powered, and you have a signal strength of 1, which is being subtracted from this holding cell. So right now it's at 5, it was at 6 a second ago. So every time that happens, this signal strength increases by 1 because we have another subtraction mode right here. And that way you basically have the signal strength only reaching exactly to this point, which is what you want, of course. And yeah, so that's the row, I would say the line extraction system explained. We have piston mode and that. I thought about using sand, but there are some issues, and I'm not going to dive into those because then this video is even longer. Now let's discuss the final system. I think it should be done then, the plane extraction system. So let's speed this up first for a bit and show you guys what it looks like, because I think I'm really proud of this machine actually. I think it looks kind of cool, especially the piston worm technology I really like. So let's show the final pushes. So now it grabs the final line. Good thing is the line is in here while it's pushing, so you can continue to grab stuff even though there's no plane here. There's no problem really. And yeah, so as you can tell, it pushed that down, and it used that as filler to push it in. Now, the way that worked basically is that there's a line over here which can... I'm not going to get into the details again, but basically every time that counter resets, line goes on, and you notice that the power, the single strength is a bit higher than normally. It goes through here, and power assisting. This string right here is just a check basically to see if there's enough sand to push. I'm not going into the details of that either, but I think that's basically the entire system explained, and maybe I should show you once more from another angle what it looks like. And maybe also take a screenshot because I think it looks a bit cool, to be honest. So we're just going to wait until that piston worm reaches the end again. Maybe I can end this on the 60-minute note. Probably not. Well, anyway, y'all already do my outro. So thanks for watching, if you watched still here. I want to make this video shorter, but I failed to, as usual. I'm sorry. Yeah, nevertheless, I hope you liked it, and that was what I wanted to show. Great. Even if you didn't like it, please leave a rating. I like to get feedback. I have to say though, like, I don't always... It doesn't mean that because you say you have an opinion that I will necessarily agree with it, but let's just say it's always a favor to get feedback from someone, although I will say that I won't always agree with it or comply with it or that kind of stuff, which I should probably make clear because I haven't really done that yet. I should probably say that. It's more like giving me feedback, doing me a favor in the sense that I may improve based on that, but I also may disagree and feel like, no, I think you are... Well, I think this is something little people care about, or at least this is not what I think is of such a value. I'm going to respect this. Like sometimes, sometimes I just don't produce to get the highest views. Or in fact, usually I don't. And so you can comment about that, and that's fine. I applaud when people actually do give me feedback, if they criticize me. But of course, I also have my own priorities, you could say. Oh well, let's just speed this thing up. I really want to show you like the column falling down at normal speeds, not this speed. I'm almost there. I think we're almost there. Yep, okay, it's going back. Let's just quickly show this. I'm gonna take a screenshot. It's gonna be amazing. Yes, I hope I got it. Oh well, anyway, that's gonna be it for this video. Sorry, way too long. Thanks for watching, and I hope I'll see you in another video.